So today we're going to talk about art supplies. And I personally have to say I love art supplies, and I have way too much. I mean, I have all the things that I really would not need to have, but I just enjoy it so much, and I don't even feel guilty about it anymore, because some people buy shoes, well, I buy art supplies. Now let's just see what the essentials are in case you're just starting, you don't want to buy everything, but I would say the essential would be to have at least 1 or 2 fine line pen that are water resistant, so we can go over with the watercolor. Then 1 paintbrush. So this is especially a short paintbrush that you can fit well in your purse, or they call it like the travel watercolor brush. And then this one is the one who has a water. I did not use them in the video, but I found them really practical. They have the water in the back here. In front they're like synthetic brush, so they're obviously not as good as these ones. They come in different sizes, and but the good thing is you do not need to carry water with you. This is an advantage when you're, for example, in a train or in a place where you are not supposed to have water with you, or you might be afraid that you spill it, or just when you want to do something very quickly. So how that works is you do need either a handkerchief with you, or just some type of little paper or rag, fabric. So you will paint, let's say I would take a red. So when I press, the water comes out, so I can paint here, see, and I press, there comes more water out. And now if I want to change colors, since this is red, I just press, the water comes out, and I clean it on this. So let me take a yellow to see if it's really clean. Yeah, exactly, see, and I can keep on going with yellow afterwards. Yeah, so very practical. Not incredibly great brushes, but quality-wise, but I find them really good. So we have the fine line pen, the brush. So these 4, I use them in the video. They're not a must at all, but they're nice to have. As you remember, this one is an ink brush, which is water resistant. It has a little brush in front. I can make fine lines, I can make thick lines, and it's a lot of fun to use. Then these are my calligraphy pens. I used them because I had them. At some point I wanted to do calligraphy and I never really got into it, so I draw with them. They come in different largeness. This one, just so you can compare, this is thinner and this is thicker, and maybe you can see better here, yeah. So depending on what I do, I use them, but also absolutely not necessary to have. Then I also use this Tombow. It is grey. I actually like it in grey. Well, this one is a bit dark, but I usually have them lighter. I use them in the video to go over the writing, but I actually bought it because sometimes I draw and I just want to add some shading, and so I don't need to take the watercolor out. I just use the grey. I think this one is the lighter one. Yeah, exactly. See, if this was whatever, I could just add some shades here, and I don't need to take my watercolor out. Yeah, so again, not absolutely necessary. Then I have these small watercolors, and I find it really good. I do not want any bigger palette, because this is so easy to carry with me, and with these 12 colors, there's really just literally everything I can mix, or I really never feel like I'm missing colors. So this is very practical. Then also, if you want to take a cup with you, obviously you can take any cup. I like this one because it is foldable. Again, I like things to fit into my purse with a minimum of space. I find that it's not expensive. It's like $7. I think it's really worth having. And now about the sketchbook. Well, that is very, very personal, obvious, because we all have preferences. And I personally brought you this one. This is the size I like best when I travel. It is light and small because some days I would carry it around with me all day and I hardly ever sketched. I didn't feel bad about it, thinking, oh, I carried this heavy book with me and I didn't use it. It is just there and I even forget about it. You can find them even smaller. That I have here, you can even go this tiny. I have not used them yet. Actually, I received them, so it'll be fun to see how that works. And for every day I do have bigger sketchbooks, something like this. I mean, it's way too heavy, but this is when I'm here and I just kind of, I plan to go out sketching and I don't mind if it's heavy then, but yeah, you have to try that out. Also about the thickness of the paper, I personally like the paper at least to be like 200 gram paper because I just don't like when the watercolor goes through it. But I have other people or friends heard them say that they prefer much when it's thinner, and even though the watercolor goes through, if they feel a bit less precious about it when it's all beautiful paper. So that you're going to have to find out for yourself. So yeah, so these are a bit, like I said, the essentials and nice to have. And then obviously there's so many gadgets out there, so many different materials which are fun, which you can add to your collection. But I think that would be a good start with that. So happy shopping. I think we all like to buy something new and it doesn't have to be so expensive. So have fun, and I will add a PDF guide with all the links in case you wonder what I had. Obviously you do not need to take exactly the same, but it's just what I know. So thank you so much for watching and have fun.